Jai Gurudev, students. Good afternoon, Jai Gurudev. How are you? I hope that all of you are fine. So, today in this live session, we are going to study the poem Keeping Quiet, poem number 3 in Flamingo textbook, Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is the poet who is a Nobel Prize winner, and this beautiful poem is written by Pablo Neruda. So first of all, I would like to explain you the theme of this poem. Theme, because understanding the theme is very necessary. Understanding of the theme is very necessary to explain the poem. The theme of the poem, the theme of the poem is introspection. Theme of the poem is theme of the poem is quiet introspection. Quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding. Quiet introspection, quiet means peaceful without doing nothing, and introspection means self-analyzing, analyzing yourself. Introspection, inspection of yourself, knowing about yourself, stopping all the external activities, stopping all the activities going out, and starting a journey inward, so that we can self evaluate ourselves, what we are doing, whatever we are doing, it is right or wrong, to analyze our actions, अपने आप को जानना, to know thyself. And this task of knowing thyself, the task of knowing yourself, can be possible when you stop all your activities. When you stop all your activities and keep quiet, doing nothing, you can know yourself by starting a journey inward. So this is called introspection. The inspection of others is very easy. You can inspect this person, you can inspect that person, you can find fault with that person, you can explain that person, but inspecting yourself is a difficult task. And self introspection is possible only when you sit idle, you do nothing and keep quiet. And in that case, when everyone is doing this activity together, everyone on this earth, everyone on this earth in groups are doing this activity of keeping quiet, doing nothing and introspecting themselves, certainly there will be a feeling of mutual understanding, feeling of mutual understanding among all human beings, feeling of unity among all human beings can be developed through introspection and keeping quiet. There are various other ways to maintain peace and harmony and unity and feeling of mutual understanding among human beings, but this one activity of keeping quiet is the most useful activity to create a feeling of mutual understanding, because there are different kind of people, different kind of religions, different kind of languages, different kind of cultures, different kind of nationalities, different caste, color, creed. So many barriers, so many distinctions are there all over the world, and mankind has failed to maintain peace and unity and mutual understanding on the basis of caste, religion, nationality, and so many bases. And through speeches, through dialogues, through negotiations, mutual understanding cannot be created. According to the poet Pablo Neruda, mutual understanding can be created only by keeping quiet when everyone is doing the only single activity, and this single activity is keeping quiet, doing nothing, because people are divided on the basis of their professions, their job nature, their social status, rich or poor, this color or that color, this nationality, that nationality, American, Indian, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. So many distinctions are there, so mutual understanding cannot be created. We are unable to understand ourselves. I am unable to understand myself. You are unable to understand yourself. He is unable to understand himself. She is unable to understand herself. They are unable to understand themselves. So, if you are not able to understand yourself, pay attention. If you are not able to understand yourself, how can you understand other self? You cannot understand the self of others until or unless you understand yourself. So first and foremost requirement of every human being is that he or she, one should understand oneself, and when you succeed in understanding oneself, yourself, you can understand others. So in this way you know what is your need, and when you understand your need, you can very easily understand the need of others. When you realize yourself, when you introduce with yourself, when you become familiar with yourself, you can be familiar with others also. The problem is that the human beings are not knowing themselves. They know nothing about themselves. They know a lot of things about science and technology. They know a lot of things about medical sciences. They know a lot of things about other planets. They know a lot of things about the earth. They know a lot of things about what is over the earth, what is under the earth, what is on that planet, about the Mars, about the moon, about the sun. But unfortunately, unluckily, we don't know anything about ourselves. This is an irony, that we don't know anything about ourselves, and this failure of not understanding ourselves is actually the cause of all the problems on this earth. And all these problems, all these disputes, all these conflicts actually are arising because of our failure, because of our inability not to know ourselves. So the poet requests that we should try to introspect ourselves, we should try to know ourselves. Only in that case mutual understanding can be established, peace and harmony and unity can be established on the earth. So let's start with the poem. The poet start with, now we will count to 12. Now we will count to 12. 12 is actually an indication. It is symbolic of that there are 12 marks on the clock. There are 12 marks on the clock. So up to that period, up to that duration, and there are also 12 months in a year. So the counting up to 12 denotes that 12 marks are there on the clock, or 12 months are there in a year. So if we are doing this activity for a particular period, all of us mutually together at a single time, everyone on the earth stopping all their activities, stopping all their businesses, stopping all their work and doing nothing. They are doing the single activity all over the earth, and that is keeping quiet. And this keeping quiet activity, that we will all keep still, we will all keep still, we will do nothing, still silent, inactive, we will do nothing. We are all still, all over, every human being on the earth doing nothing. For once on the face of the earth, on the face of the earth matlab everywhere on the earth, everywhere on the earth, each and every human being, all the mankind has stopped all their work and they are doing nothing. They are doing only single activity, that is keeping quiet, keeping still, doing nothing, and introspecting themselves, knowing about their self. Let's not speak in any language, not speak in any language. So many languages, thousands of languages are spoken all over the world, and through language peace and harmony and unity cannot be maintained, cannot be established. So many leaders are there who claim that they can establish peace and unity and mutual understanding by speaking in different languages. For example, a leader or religious preacher is speaking in Chinese language, so he can convince only Chinese people. He cannot convince the people who are speaking French, who are speaking German language, who are speaking Hindi language. They even will not understand what he or she is speaking. So languages cannot establish peace, harmony, unity and understanding, because different languages are spoken by different people. And so by speaking in different languages, or by negotiations, by peace dialogues between the nations, between India and Pakistan, if there is a peace dialogue, peace and unity cannot be maintained. This way peace and unity cannot be maintained, because there are so many records, so many evidences in the history, in the politics, that so many peace dialogues or negotiations and conversation have been held between the leaders of the world, all over the world, between America and Pakistan, India and Pakistan, America and China. So many negotiations and peace conferences have been held up to now, but all of these conferences, all of these negotiations in terms of language have failed to maintain peace and unity. So Pablo Neruda, the poet, says that through language, peace and unity and mutual understanding among all human beings cannot be established. So let's leave this idea of establishing peace through language. Nobody should speak. Nobody should speak anything. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. Stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Nobody should move their arms. Nobody should move their arms. They should stop all their activities. Arms. Arms here is actually a literary device, a figure of speech, because there are two meanings of this word arms. Arms means hands. We are performing different kind of works. Different people are performing different kind of works through their arms, through their hands. So poet says that they should stop moving their arms too much. They should stop all their activities. They should stop their works. And second meaning, second implication of this word arms is weapons. Armies of different nations are using their weapons. Weapons are also called arms. So the poet requests that armies should stop using arms and ammunition, weapons to against each other. They claim that they are maintaining peace by using weapons. So this is wrong. So by using arms, we cannot maintain peace on the earth. So there are two meanings of this word arms. Arms means hands. Poet says that we should stop moving our arms, should stop all our work. And poet also says that the armies of different nations should stop using weapons against each other. Only then peace, harmony, and unity and mutual understanding can be established on the earth. It would be an exotic moment. Which moment? The moment when everyone has stopped all their activities and they are doing nothing, they are just silent. There will be a huge silence all over the world on the earth when there is no noise of the engines, no noise of the factories, no noise of the factory coming out of factories and vehicles. There will be complete utter silence on the earth. That will be exotic moment, exotic, extraordinary moment, unique moment, never experienced before moment. So that moment will be exotic moment when nobody would be doing nothing. There will be complete silence on the earth, without rush, without engines. There will be no sound. We would all be together. There will be a feeling of togetherness when everyone is doing this activity of keeping quiet. There will be feeling of togetherness, because we are doing the same job, we are doing the same thing. There is no distinction, there is no discrimination, there are no differences between the people, there are no differences on the basis of caste, color, creed, nationality, on any basis. There will be feeling of togetherness. We all are together, we are doing the same activity, and this same activity is keeping quiet. In a sudden strangeness, all of a sudden it will be a sudden strangeness, because suddenly it will be experienced by us that we are connected in a feeling of oneness. There will be a feeling of oneness in everybody. For example, what will be the benefit of this activity? Now the poet refers to the benefits and advantages of keeping quiet. Advantage of keeping quiet and understanding ourselves. Advantage, for example, he gives example of fishermen. For example, fishermen in the cold sea, what are they doing? They are killing whales. They are killing whales just for commercial exploitation. Just for commercial exploitation, they are killing whales, and for selling them, they are killing. Already the whales are endangered species. They are on the verge of extinction. Already there is a danger for that species. So they are killing just for commercial purpose. This is the greed of mankind. Because of the greed of mankind, just for the sake of few coins, just for the sake of money, we are killing other species. We don't realize this, we don't experience this, but during the moment of keeping quiet, fishermen will have some time to introspect themselves, and when they will introspect themselves, they will come to know, they will realize, they will feel that by this profession of killing whales just for commercial purpose, they are producing a lot of harm to nature. They are creating harm to ecological balance. So they are disturbing this ecosystem, and if they disturb this ecosystem, they will have to face the consequences. They will have to face the fury of nature. They will have to face the anger of nature in future. They will realize, and when they will realize, when they will have time to stop this activity, sit idle, keep quiet, and introspect that we are creating harm to whales, which are already endangered species and are on the verge of extinction. So similarly, there can be other examples that people are creating harm to nature in different ways, but they have no time to stop and think. and this activity of keeping quiet will give them a golden opportunity to stop and ponder over their actions. What are they doing, in which direction they are leading, in which direction the mankind is going, and what will be the consequences, what will be the result of this greed of human being, and because of this greed mankind is in danger. They will understand this. Second example is the example of men gathering salt. Men gathering salt, salt labor. Salt labor are every time busy in gathering salt. So because of gathering salt every time just for the sake of money, they are every time busy, and because of this excessive busyness, they don't have any time to look at their injured hands, have no time to look at their injured hands. And when they have no time to look at their injured hands, they cannot understand their problem. They cannot understand their problem, that the problem is excessive busyness. And because of this excessive busyness, what is excessive busyness for salt labor? They are every time gathering salt, and because of every time being busy in this act of gathering salt, they are hurting their hands, they are harming their hands, they are producing harm to their hands, and they have no time to look at their injury, to look at their problem. But this activity of keeping quiet will give them a golden opportunity to know about the cause of their sadness, to know about the cause of their problem, and then certainly they will do something. They will realize that they must stop and they should have some quality time out of their busy schedule, so that they can also heal their wounds, so can heal their problem. Because the problem is that man has no time for himself, every time he is busy. Those who prepare green wars, those who prepare green war refer to war against nature. War against nature, scientists, industrialists have created a kind of war against nature because of their greed, because of advancement in science and technology. Forests are being cut, deforestations, you can see the incident of deforestation. Men want to show dominance over nature, and because of showing dominance over nature, man has forget that he is producing a lot of harm to nature. Nuclear testings are there, nuclear weapons are being tested, industries are developing, colonization is also at a high speed, villages and agricultural land is shrinking, and the result is that there is a kind of green war started by human being. And this green war certainly will result in a danger for mankind. Green war with gas, war with fire, war with gases. There are so many problems. सो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, इंट्रोस्पेक्शन का मतलब होता है इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, इंट्रो मीन्स इनवर्ड, और इंस्पेक्शन मतलब नोइंग योरसेल्फ. तो नोइंग योरसेल्फ विद इन, अपने आप को जानना, सेल्फ एनालिसिस, self analysis, knowing about yourself. We know everything outside, we know about others, but we never introspect, we never start a journey inward. Starting a journey inward and knowing about ourselves is known as introspection. Okay, so when introspection will be there, when we will start a journey inward, when we will start knowing about ourselves, we will know that green war has started by the industrialists, by the scientists, war with gas, so much pollution, war with fire, so many industries are there, victory, and we want to show dominance over nature. We want to show that we are more powerful than nature. We are making bridges and we are tampering with nature, and we are throwing a challenge before nature that we are more powerful than nature. So the result, what will be the result? The result will be in the form of natural calamities, fury of nature. You can see in the news that sometimes there are natural furies in the form of tsunami, cyclones, and other natural calamities. So a lot of loss of human life is there. But we should understand that we may achieve victory again in this war against nature. Human being, with the help of advancement in science and technology, we can be victorious, we can get victory over nature. But what will be the benefit of that victory when no survivor will left, when there is no survivor to enjoy this victory? What will be the benefit of this victory? अभी किसी ने पूछा है कि दिस पोएम व्हाट डज काउंट अप टू 12. काउंटिंग अप टू 12 is actually an indication of 12 marks on the clock. There are 12 marks on the clock and 12 months are also there in a year. So poet is saying that counting up to 12 means counting up to 12 marks. So we can decide a particular time. We can decide a particular time or duration, that for that particular duration we have to stop all our activities. So 12 indicates 12 marks on the clock or 12 months in a year. So for a particular moment we can decide our activity of keeping quiet. This is the duration, this is stipulated time for keeping quiet. So green war has been started by industrialists and scientists to show victory. Victory certainly can be there because we have a lot of advancement in science and technology, and with the help of this we can be victorious. But what will be the benefit of such victory when no survivor will be there to enjoy this victory? कि लड़ते लड़ते हम जीत तो गए, but finally there is no one on this earth. So many calamities, so much loss of human lives is there. आप देख रहे हैं in this COVID-19 pandemic all over the world. Actually this is the result of tampering with nature. So what will be the benefit of such victory over nature when no survivor will be there to enjoy this victory in the world? Poet want to draw our attention toward this fact, toward this reality, toward this bitter reality that we are there. We are there to fighting a war against nature. Green war actually refer to war against nature. War against nature because we are producing harm to plants, animals, kingdom, nature, flora and fauna, natural species. उनसे हम लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं, but actually they also have a right to enjoy all these natural resources. But human beings think that I am the only owner of these natural resources. So we have started a kind of war. We want to get control over all the resources of nature. But we should understand that all these natural resources are actually provided for all the species of flora and fauna on this planet. We should not start a war. Starting a war means capturing all the resources just for our greed, just for our lust, just for commercial exploitation. So we should not start a war against nature, because nature will take revenge, and when nature will take revenge, there will be no survivor left on this earth. You can see. So what is the benefit of such a victory? What is the benefit of starting such a war? Such a war against nature? How foolish it is that we have started a war against nature. Nature is actually our protector. Without nature we can't imagine any existence of mankind. So why we are starting a war against nature? We should protect nature and we should live in harmony with nature. We should follow the laws of nature. We should protect nature, we should preserve nature, but we should never start a war against nature. We should respect all the flora and fauna. We should respect all the rich variety of flora and fauna here. We should preserve and protect all the species there, all the species of plants and animals. Okay, only then we can imagine our existence on this earth. But if we are thinking only about the existence of us, existence of human being, certainly our own existence will be in danger. And this can be realized and experienced only when we have some quality time to stop all our activities together, all over the world. All the human beings stop all their activities, realize this harm we are producing not only to ourselves but also to mankind, but also to other species and also to nature. So there is no benefit of this war. We should maintain peace and live in harmony with nature. Only then we can survive, only then we can exist, only then we can enjoy. Otherwise there will be no survivor, there will be fury of nature, there will be anger of nature, and before this fury and anger of nature, man will be swept away. The existence of man will not be there on this earth. We should realize that this victory is useless. This victory over nature is useless, futile. And this can be understood only when we have some quality time, we are keeping quiet, when we are sitting idle and thinking about our actions, thinking about the direction we are going, to which direction we are going. Okay, so the poet requests that we would put on clean cloth. Putting on clean cloth is a symbol of maintaining peace. and removing all the barriers and differences. Different people are wearing different kind of dresses. Army is wearing their uniform, people are wearing their uniform in that office, in this office, school children, that factory workers or employee of that company or this company, people are doing different jobs and they are wearing different kind of clothes. He says that we should remove all those clothes and put on clean clothes so that there can be a feeling of mutual understanding, feeling of oneness, feeling of togetherness. And putting on clean clothes, we should walk about with their brothers. We all are brothers. There should be a feeling of brotherhood. There should be a feeling of brotherhood. There should be a feeling of oneness. And this feeling of oneness and this feeling of brotherhood can be realized, can be experienced when we stop all our works. Because on the basis of professions, on the basis of works, people are divided. On the basis of their uniforms, people are divided. On the basis of their professions, people are divided. On the basis of their nationality, people are divided. On the basis of their financial status, people are divided. We have to forget all these things and we should do only one thing, putting on clean clothes, and that only one thing is keeping quiet, remembering nothing. We all are one, we all are one, we have no religion, we all are brother, we have no nationality, and we are human beings. Only in that case mutual understanding can be developed. This is the way of developing mutual understanding. And the moment we develop and experience the feeling of mutual understanding, there will be no problem on this earth. There will be no fury of nature. There will be no anger of nature. There will be no kind of natural calamities there. But we have to do this. We have to realize this. We have to experience this. We have to understand this. And understanding of this fact can be possible when we stop all our works and start doing nothing but keeping quiet and introspecting. Introspecting matlab knowing ourselves. Journey inward, journey outward. We have done a lot of journey outward. This place, this city, this country, this planet, this mountain, this peak, this park. But actually we have never started a journey inward, and journey inward can be started only by sitting idle. You need not go anywhere. You need not go anywhere outside. You have to just keep quiet. You have to just sit idle and start introspecting. That will be a journey inward, and this journey inward is very vast and very useful, very productive, and certainly it will lead you on the right path. It will lead you on the path of righteousness. You will realize that you are a human being. You will realize that you are a part and parcel of this planet. You will realize that you are an integral part of this nature, and only in the survival of nature your survival is hidden there. So you must believe in the survival of nature. But this can be experienced only when we stop our activities and keep quiet and start introspecting. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Pablo Neruda, the poet, says that many people will be there who will laugh at him or who will mock at him and who will say that this Pablo Neruda is actually advocating idleness. He is advocating idleness. Idleness means doing nothing. Kuch mat karo. Don't do anything. They may laugh at him and they may say that he is advocating death, because stillness, doing nothing, sitting idle is just like inactivity, and inactivity is the synonym of death. So poet want to make it clear that he does not want to associate this activity of keeping quiet with inactivity or with idleness or with death. This is an activity. Keeping quiet is an activity in itself. This is not inactivity. Keeping quiet, sitting idle and introspecting ourselves or starting a journey inward is not inactivity. This is not idleness. This is not a futile task. It's a very useful activity, because inward you are active. You are journeying inward. So this cannot be inactivity. This cannot be idleness. This cannot be equivalent to death. Many people can say that Pablo Neruda, the poet, is advocating in the favor of inactivity, idleness, death, doing nothing. ऐसे तो काम नहीं चलेगा. We cannot move on. How the earth will move on, how the economic activities will move on. Poet want to make it clear that this activity is only for a stipulated time. This activity is only for a particular moment, at a particular moment, to be done by all the people of the earth together at a single time. And then after performing this activity, and then after completing this introspection, they will come out in the outer world, and in the outer world they will start doing their jobs again after gaining this experience. And when they will gain this experience, their outer activity, their activities in the outer world, after coming out from inward, after coming out from introspection, after self-analyzing themselves, after knowing about the direction in which they are going, after knowing all these things, when they will come out and when they will start their job again, there will certainly be a change. There will be a change in their mindset. There will be a change in their attitude. There will be a change in their outlook. There will be a change in their approach to the world. There will be a change in their dealing with the fellow human beings. There will be a change in their thinking toward the people of other religions. There will be a change in their thinking about other religions, other people, other cultures, other languages, other social status people belonging to. And then suddenly this positive change will make the world a better place to live in. There will be a positive change, there will be a feeling of understanding, and when repeatedly, daily, out of their busy schedule, they are taking some time at a particular moment, they are doing this activity, if they are making it a daily practice, if they are doing it daily at a particular moment, then certainly there will be amazing change, a spectacular change, a great change in their personality, in their approach, in their thinking, and this great change will certainly lead to peace, humanity, brotherhood, harmony all over the world. There will be no petty quarrels over caste, color, creed, religion, nationality, because people have been habitual after performing this activity. People have been habitual of understanding others, because first they have understood themselves, and आप खुद को जान गए, और खुद को जान गए तो खुदा को भी जान गए. कहावत है ना कि खुदा को जानना है तो खुद को जानिए, या जब कैसा मुझ जैसा. तो जैसे आप है वैसे ही आपको दुनिया दिखाई देगी, और खुदा को जानना है तो पहले खुद को जानिए, दूसरों को जानना है तो पहले खुद को जानिए. सो इफ यू फेल टू नो योरसेल्फ, if you fail to know yourself, how can you succeed in knowing others? So first of all, you have to know yourself, and to know yourself, you have to take some time out of your busy schedule. You have to keep quiet, you have to do nothing, and this moment of silence, this moment of golden silence, golden moment of silence, certainly will increase your value, certainly will purify your thoughts, certainly will clear up your understanding about the world, about the people, about other religions. So there will be peace naturally. You can understand peace, harmony, unity, brotherhood, and there will be no problem. You will be very friendly to others. You will be very friendly with other species. You will be very friendly and accountable and responsible about your duties and obligations and ethical obligations toward this planet, your ethical obligations, your duties toward other religions, other people. So you can imagine that there will be peace and harmony and heaven-like condition on the earth. So this keeping quiet should not be confused. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. का मतलब है, poet does not want that this activity of keeping quiet should not be associated. Don't associate it with total inactivity. This is not total inactivity. Poet is not advocating total inactivity. He is just saying that keep quiet for a particular moment, all the people together, and during this moment you will be active inside, and being active inside you will be having fruitful, productive thoughts which will be beneficial not only for you but also for mankind, nature and species on this earth. Life is what it is about. He does not want, Pablo Neruda does not want to change the meaning of life. Life is what it is about. Life is what it is about. He does not want to change the meaning and definition of life. Life should always be moving. Life should always be moving like river. He does not want to stop it. He is saying that just for a moment only. Life should always be moving. I want no truck with death. I want no truck with death. He does not want to associate this activity of keeping quiet with death, because death is stillness. Stillness is death. Doing nothing is death. But poet does not speak in favor of death. Poet does not speak in favor of stillness. Poet very well know that stillness is death. So he want no truck with death. Want no truck with death means does not want to associate this keeping quiet with stillness, idleness, or death. He knows, he himself knows that stillness, idleness is like death, and he is not associating this keeping quiet activity with death. So there should be no confusion. If we were not so single-minded, अब पोइट ये बता रहा है कि what is the cause of sadness on the earth? We are so single-minded. Single-minded, single thing is always going on, haunting in our mind. This single thing is that we just always want to keep our life moving, moving, moving from morning to evening. Everyone is rushing here and there. There is a lot of hustle and bustle. There, people have a lot of hectic, busy schedule from early morning to late night. They have no time for themselves. We are so single-minded. There is only a single thing in our mind. This single thing in our mind is that we should move and move and move and move always. We have no quality time. We have no time to stop and think. We have no time to know ourselves. When we have no time to know ourselves, how can we understand the problem of others? When we don't have any time to know about our problems, how can we understand others' problems? So it is first and foremost requirement that every human being should know himself or herself, and a person knows himself or herself, he can also know others. And if you fail to know yourself, you will certainly be fail to know others. So get some time out of your busy schedule, keep quiet, do nothing, just introspect and be more productive inside, be more productive and fruitful. But the problem is that we are so single-minded. We are always thinking about our life moving. Single thing is going on in our mind, that life should always move, life should always move. Sometimes we are doing this, sometimes we are doing this, every time, morning to evening, late evening, party, business meetings, or study this or that, every time. So single-minded. And for once could do nothing. But the poet says that now, we for once, एक बार ये करके देखें, at least for once, we should do nothing. कुछ ना करें. But this activity should be done all together, all over the earth. Only then there will be huge silence. Huge silence. Such a silence which was experienced never before. Never experienced before. And this huge silence will be so powerful. It is so powerful that it can interrupt all sadness. This huge silence. Silence has a healing power. Silence has healing power, and silence can interrupt the sadness. Sadness of humanity, sadness of all human beings. Sadness of never understanding ourselves. Sadness कहाँ से आती है? Where this sadness come out from? Where this sadness originate from? Sadness originate from our failure to understand ourselves. Sadness comes out when we are unable to understand ourselves, what we want, what do we need. And if we are unable to know what do we need, if we are unable to know what we want, if we are unable to decide in which direction we have to go, if we are directionless, if we are wishless, if we are aimless, then how can we be happy? One cannot be happy in that case. Which case? When we know nothing about ourselves. We have no understanding about ourselves. We have a lot of understanding. Irony देखिए. Irony, contradiction. We have a lot of understanding about the outer world. We have a lot of understanding about other people living in our neighborhood. We have a lot of information about that house. We have a lot of information about our city. We have a lot of information about newspaper, media, this party, this political party, this nation, GDP or economy of that nation, this or that. So much flood of information is there in our mind. We know a lot of things. We know a lot of things. We know about galaxy. We know about Mars. We know about sun. We know about the moon. But we don't know anything about ourselves. The problem is that we don't know anything about ourselves. And this failure of knowing ourselves, this utter failure of knowing ourselves, is actually the cause of sadness. The sadness actually is created by us. The sadness is actually created by human beings because they have no time to know themselves, what they want, what are they doing, and whatever they are doing, what will be its consequences. Whatever they are doing, what will be the result. Whatever they are doing, what will be its result, what will be its consequences. This is our failure, utter failure, and this utter failure is actually the cause of sadness. And we don't know anything about ourselves. And when we know anything about ourselves, we have created so many dangers, so many crises, so many problems all around us. And all these crises, so many dangers, so many crises all around us are hovering overhead like the fear of death. We are scared, we are afraid, we are frightened, we are frightened of death. हम डरे हुए हैं, मौत का डर है. There is a fear of death, and this fear of death is actually always threatening us. So we are living under the threat of death, and this threat of death, death because of war, death because of pandemic, death because of natural calamities, death of because of so many strain disease or so many natural calamities, so many problems, these are actually the result of the actions of human beings. So we ourselves have created this danger of that. But poet says that huge silence can interrupt this sadness. When you are silent, you can understand that you yourself are responsible for this sadness, and once you know that I myself responsible for all these problems, certainly I will do something to remove all these problems. So I can give you a very productive time, very quality time, very fruitful time to know about all these problems, and when you know about your problem, you can also get the solution. So this is beneficial. Finally, the poet says that how this is useful, how keeping quiet is useful. Keeping quiet and being silent and inactive is useful. This is useful in this way that just take example of Earth. Take example of Earth, such a huge Earth, such a great working, amazing working of Earth. But there is no hue and cry, there is no noise. Earth is moving around the sun, but there is no noise. Earth is silent. Earth is silent, and every season is coming and going. Autumn is coming, autumn is replacing with winter, and winter is coming, winter, autumn, spring. Seasons are changing. So many changes are taking place, so many transformations are taking place on the earth. In nature, for example, you can see that, for example, example of germination of a seed. The seed is lying under the earth, under the darkness of the earth, buried. A seed is lying buried, dormant, dead, seemingly dead. But when spring arrives, it starts sprouting, it starts becoming a sapling, and finally it becomes a fruitful tree. So nature is highly productive, nature is highly creative, and nature is highly productive and creative because of its silent nature. Nature is silent, and working of nature is very silent. Everything is going on silently in nature. That's why there is nothing in this world, on this earth, which is so much productive. Nature is very much productive. ठीक है, तो seed का example आप ले सकते हैं. You can take example of seed and nature, that and it is only possible because of being silent. So this is the poem, and I hope that you would have enjoyed this live session of Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. And if you really like this video, this live session, kindly subscribe my channel and like and share my video, and that will be really a nice appreciation for me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Jai Gurudev.